Hey, my Legion, how y'all doing today? I'm here to review four long forgotten shows I finally got a chance to see. And two of them I really wanted to see, I've never seen before. And one was a game show I never heard of, and then the other was a game show I saw when I was little. And I was able to find it on YouTube. YouTube can be an awesome place, for finding obscure shows and stuff like that. The first show I want to review, and probably the one is Tag Team. Uh, and this stars Roddy Piper and Jesse the Body Ventura. And what happens is they're wrestlers, right? And then Shannon Tweed comes in, and she must be the wife of the promoter. And she said, "I want you to lose these guys, right? Or I'm going to tell the promoter that you were making moves on me and stuff like that, because the last time I did that, they barred these guys for life." Well, anyways, they didn't do it, and they won the match. And then she told the promoter they were barred for life. So they're looking for all these jobs, and they show them looking for work. It's like the pilot episode. It's the only episode I could find of the show. And they're looking for work, and they finally decide to become cops. And they work on this one case where this woman finds these guys that killed a guy, and they're supposed to protect her along with the other two cops. I don't want to give anything else away, but it's a very entertaining show. It's cheesy and hokey, and it didn't last long. And my dad hated it, and it's all right, but it's silly. And sometimes you'll be like, "Well, it's like very reminiscent of No Holds Barred, the Hulk Hogan thing, with the cheesiness and the silliness in it." But it's entertaining. It's on YouTube, and it's cool. It's a full hour, and the guy who uploaded, 58 minutes of some odds. The guy who uploaded actually included the commercials too, because he must have recorded it and then put it on YouTube from the VHS recording, which is cool. Now, the story with me is I was in Fort Bragg at the time, right? And I saw one commercial for the show, and it said Saturday night, and I missed it. And then I don't know how much longer it was on. Because aside from that commercial I saw, and a small little article I read in a WWE magazine, WWF at the time, magazine I read like in Fort Detrick like 6-7 months ago, like in 2 paragraphs. That's all I've ever heard of the show. I've never heard anyone else mention it or anything like that. I don't know how long it lasted, but this was a pilot episode. It's entertaining. I give it a very silly 9 out of 10. So it's entertaining. Now each story, except for that one I never heard of, the show I never heard of, has this little story behind it. So I'm glad I finally saw the show. And the second excuse me. Second show I want to talk about is Werewolf. And this was when Fox was first starting out, before they got really caught on. And it had Chuck Connors in it. And when it first started, it was just a UHF channel. And it was on some channels that were hard to find, hard to get, because we didn't have cable at the time at the house in Cranesville, because cable didn't go out that far. And the best chance to see it on the rabbit ears, and it was on a UHF channel. It was really tough to get reception to, and my dad wanted to see it because he knew Chuck Connors was in it. And we saw like an episode back when I was in high school a little bit, but it was real fuzzy. It was real hard to see, and it was only a half hour long. It was over with real quick. Well, what happened was on YouTube they got all 29 episodes, I think. The first episode is plays out like a movie. It's an hour and a half long. And then all the other episodes, to my knowledge, are a half hour. I saw that last night. I saw that hour and a half movie, and then I saw like 4 of the half hour long episodes. And basically, it kind of plays out like Chuck Connors is like the main werewolf, but this guy gets bit, and he's trying to sever the bloodline. So if he kills this one guy, he'll go back to being a normal guy, right? And it's really complicated. And this one bounty hunters after the one werewolf guy. So it kind of plays out like The Fugitive and The Incredible Hulk, where the main guy always being on the run, looking for the main bad guy, Chuck Connors, which is kind of like The Fugitive, plus the bounty hunter after him, which is similar on The Incredible Hulk with the reporter after him. But it plays out like The Fugitive and The Incredible Hulk, but it's very entertaining. My dad hated it again. And I give that a 9 out of 10. You can find it on YouTube from VHS copies. And also, like I said, I found Now, those were like VHS copies. They weren't the greatest. But I was talking about Walking Tall. And there's a channel on YouTube called Walking Tall TV. I've mentioned this before. This isn't part of the review. I saw this when I was a kid, but real little. And those are actually good quality. He must have got to upload it from DVD or something like that. Those are good quality. But these ones are from VHS and they're questionable quality. But, I mean, where else are you going to see it? No one else gives a crap enough to put it on. And then the really obscure ones, the game shows, which I'm going to get to right now, the quality is really crappy, but where else are you going to see them? And the first one is, well, I wanted to talk about the one I never heard of before called The Money Maze. And with a title like that, I had to see it. It's like, I think it's one full episode. It's a pilot episode. And there's a giant maze, and they have to answer these questions. And then there's one person is like in the maze runner, because there's a movie called The Maze Runner. And the other person is like in a crow's nest. He tells them where to go to get these prizes. And there's prizes all over the board and stuff, and they have to hit a button to get the prize. And then whoever wins has to get like $10,000. Like there's a 1 and there's like 4 zeros in the maze within like a minute. It's a very interesting and entertaining show. The quality is questionable, but I mean, where else are you going to see it? So I give that a 9 out of 10. And then the other game show I used to watch when I was a kid, I think I remember seeing it in summer vacation when I was in first grade. I think I saw it in the House in Albion. It was a show called Whew. It's spelled W-H-E-W with an exclamation point, and they pronounce it whenever the guy pronounces it on the game, it goes Whew, like that. And basically they have like these series of questions you get, and they have like these blocks. And if you hit a block, you're knocked off 5 seconds. You get like about a minute to get there. And then they have something called the Gauntlet of Villains. And there's like 10 villains, and they're like kind of like cardboard cutouts with their arm up. They have to answer a question, and then each one, their arm goes down, and then there's different bad guys like monsters, Dracula, Frankenstein, the Mad Scientist. I know if my mom knew that there were monsters on the show, she won't let me watch it. But I mean, it's a very entertaining show. I'm glad I was able to find that too. And I think there's 2 whole episodes on there, not the best quality though. But at least you get a chance to see them. And it took me a long time to find it, because when I saw The Money Maze, how obscure that was, I said, well, heck, I'm going to see if I can find that game show when I saw one with a kid with the monsters on it. And I didn't know what the heck it was called. I couldn't remember it. And that's not an easy name to remember anyways. So I looked up online for game shows of the 70s, and they had a list of shows, and it said a very fun show from the 70s, and it said a Gauntlet of Villains. So I assumed that was it. And they had a video just called The Gauntlet of Villains. It's like a 3-4 minute video showing them going through that. And that was the show. And then there's like 2 full 20-minute episodes. So I give that a 9 out of 10 too. So there you have it. A review of 4 long and forgotten and obscure TV shows that are all available on YouTube. All you have to do is give it a shot and check them out. I think you'll enjoy them on a slow night or whatever. They're very entertaining. So until next time, everybody, please take care, my liege.